Hi, it's Ingra, and I'm here. Brett's nearby. One of the owners of Magnabilities, Carrie Hoke, had asked the consultants who attended the convention this last weekend to share a little bit about what they learned and maybe some goals and some future goal possibilities while it was all still fresh in our minds. And Brett also attended every class with me. I fully registered him, and that was great fun to go to school with Brett. I've never done that in our close to 30 years of marriage, so I hope he enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, Brett?
I did enjoy it. I know I'm popping in,
Answer.
but I liked Kareem Ellis and Catherine Walker and Betsy Manning. All were right up my wheelhouse with leadership, and they all had a growth mindset, and I love that. So I think you guys should have gotten a lot out of that because there's a lot of good things you can do to make your futures even better.
And Brett's actually looking at doing similar consulting and speaking engagements across the countries too. So that was a great exposure for him to what's going on in that arena, because he's been asked to DC to speak, and he's been he's spoken around here quite a bit. But we've got bigger plans in mind for both of us, so we're excited at the journey we're on. And just before I forget, I want to tell you, this is one of the new. They had a lot of new jewelry that was presented, and this is in the new Modern Leaf collection. You can see it there if it stays in focus. And the earrings to match, and there's quite a bit more, and I will talk more about that in a future I Wink Randoms. But I did want to tell you a few things that I was excited about. We had several speakers, as Brett mentioned, and one of the first things I need to get going on with Melanie Moore. She is a tech person, and she works for SynShare, which is a sharing platform, social media platform app, and so one of the exciting things about that is that and if you didn't attend and you don't know this yet, we got notices, and she told us at the convention, and we were the first convention that she made this announcement to, that there is now a free version of SynShare. Now, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it will help with the initial scheduling pieces that we all are needing help with if you're anything like me. So I'm excited about that. And then she also did mention that there's a setting in Facebook that you can download your entire Facebook, which I did not know. So if you're interested in that, I'm sure she would answer those types of questions. And also to end all videos with a call to action. So I don't always do that. Sometimes mine are very informative, and to me it's obvious that I'm promoting this ingraanderson.magnabilities.com website. I usually mention that throughout, but the call to action could just be to point you to that website again. So I need to just remember to always end with that as well. Every post should ask a question. So I'm looking for what that might look like in the format that I am using. Obviously, I like to interview people. I like to give random information. That's why I call it I Wink Randoms. And so I need to kind of look at what that might look like for my particular style. Then we heard from Lori LaPata. One of the things I like that she said is you do not have to have everything figured out to get started. And if you've ever read the book Start, it's all about that. Just start. And then whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are absolutely right. And I've heard that before, but it was a good reminder from Lori. Kareem Ellis we heard from. The quality of the question determines the quality of the results. So think about your questions and how you're asking them, and make sure that you're getting really the information you're wanting when you shape your questions. And he was big on, what is my why? Why are we doing this? I have a lot of whys. Mine is a big long story, actually several stories rolled into one, many years coming, and I'm just excited to get here and get started. So I need to figure out a way to tell that story in a meaningful way to others, because some people who've walked the walk with me all these years know it's been a journey, and not everybody wants to hear all of that detail. So I've got to figure out how to filter that to the most interesting and relevant pieces to other people. Uh, then you turn your mess into a message of hope. So obviously, he's expecting that the whys may have some messiness, and I think all of ours do. That's part of being human, I think. And then he was talking about a habit taking 21 days, which I've always heard that. But then something else was interesting to me. 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle. So it may become a habit in 21 days, but for it to really be solidified and into a lifestyle, it takes 90 days. And another thing he said about the why is you'll never truly recognize the opportunities unless you define your why, unless you clearly define your why. He also said, that was Kareem. Yes, he was talking about the naysayers on Facebook and social media, and I think we all know that there's a thread of not real. I don't share a lot of the negative things that happen to me on social media. I feel like that's a place where I'd rather be the friendly, helpful, positive personality that you look to for an uplift, rather than sharing all the crap that happens to me. And we all have it. I don't care what stage of life you're in. I don't care what where you think you are on the hierarchy of jobs or whatever. We all have stuff in our lives that isn't necessarily positive, and I'm somebody who doesn't like to focus on that a lot. And then Karen Jones, who was a highly successful consultant. We had some consultants, which was fun to hear from some of our own sisters in the field. We had several consultants who have had successes come and share their stories, and that was really, I cried a lot. I think even Brett cried at some of these stories. She said you can have excuses or you can have progress, but you can't have both. Yesterday, and she told this funny joke. Yesterday it was hot. I saw a bird pulling a worm out of the ground with a pair of oven mitts. I gotta get that one to where I can roll that off the tongue, because I think that's a cute little joke. Then we heard from Catherine Walker, and these, by the way, I got books from a couple of these folks. Catherine Walker has a book, Boosting Your Joy. You can see it. Happy little advice for your relationships, your career, and yourself. And I've started the book, and the first chapter's on marriage, so that was kind of fun to start that. Might make that a read aloud for the Andersons. We'll have to see. And then she says, take as many people to the top with you as possible. And she was, obviously about joy and fun, and I am all about that. So I enjoyed hearing from her. She also got there. I think she got out there on the dance floor with us quite a bit. I didn't know who that was until the next day when she was speaking for us. But I think that was the same cute little blonde number that was out on the dance floor with us. And she had us go through these questions, the 6 layers of why, and talk about what is my dash, which is that. On your gravestone you have your birth date and your death date and that dash in between. And what are you doing with your dash? And it was just fun to hear from her, because she had a lot of behavioral pieces that were interesting. Another thing she said that I thought was good: worrying is praying for things you don't want. So remember that the next time you worry, you are praying for things you do not want. And another interesting fact, the average American knows 750 people. So my job is to uncover those who love jewelry, who like positivity in their life, who want a sense of fun, who want maybe an example to get together with old friends they haven't seen forever. And I should be able to do that with 750 people in my circle. And something else I think Carrie Hoke in some of the things she was talking about was don't bring too much product. And I know I did that to my very first off-site home party. I brought just about everything I have so far, and it's way too much. It was too much to hand around. I think I was rushing people who wanted to look at things longer, and I just need to learn to calm down a bit, which is I tend to go 100 miles an hour sometimes, and I need to just chill and pull back a little bit. And that was another kind of a fun, I'll tell you about that in a second because that's another speaker. For Melanie Moore, I was excited at the Cinch Share News, and she spoke of, I went to a couple different courses of hers, and she was also a keynote speaker, I think, at one of our lunches. I need to plan a hashtag, and I think mine will be IWinkMags. I think that'll be the hashtag that I need to start using on just about everything. And then she was talking about the average person has 3 seconds they pay attention. So I've already lost you probably several times through this video. And that's less than a goldfish. So keep that in mind when you're being long-winded, and here I'll continue on so that we won't have any more of that lack of attention. Betsy Allen Manning, who is another author, and she has a book. She and Kareem Ellis are both, I think, John Maxwell trained speakers, and she has this cute little book, Win with People. And both Brett and I looked at each other because we know there's a John Maxwell book called Winning with People, so that was kind of fun. But she was a kill. She got me up on stage because I think Carrie Hoke had volunteered me earlier. She said, who'd be good for this? And so she got me up on stage, and she pretended to be, and it was singing related, so I thought, oh, are they going to make me sing? I hadn't warmed up my voice or anything. And she sang this song that I've never heard before. It's some little ditty that her father had taught her as a kid, and she sang it really fast, so you didn't understand a word she was saying. And then she said, okay, now I'm going to slow this down, and we're going to see what reactions Ingrid can get if she were a person who's a Ferrari rather than a Bentley. She was kind of putting people in two categories. There's Ferraris who go 100 miles an hour, and there's Bentleys who are very methodical and plotty and take their time, and no way is any better or worse than the other, but it's just a way to keep in mind when you're relating with people. And so I was the Ferrari in this case, and she really slowed it down to the point where the audience was just starting to giggle so much, and I was giving my big eye roll, and then I went off to and finally she stopped, and she, everybody got it, what she was talking about. And so when she signed my book, this is what tickled me. She signed this little book. Oh, and I got a free book for being volunteered. And she said, and her big thing was go all in. And she says, Ingra, all in, Ferrari. And BAM is her initials, Betsy Allen Manning. But I thought that was cute. And what else from Betsy? Hope is not a strategy. I thought that was good. Never let the limitations of others that others place on your life determine your success. If I don't own my agenda, somebody else will. Time plan for 30 days straight and see how things change in your business. And commitment is the main ingredient to success. So this was all good stuff. I'm setting out my goals that I want to take away from this. I mean, it's hard to ingest all of this and really put everything into motion, but I had some goals coming into the conference. My first goal was to meet Carrie and Brent Hoke and Susan Fossil, who are the main owners of Magnabilities, and we also met Keith and Jan, Carrie's folks, who I think are silent partners, and I don't know if they have any other silent partners. my second goal, and I met them and we visited with them off and on through the whole weekend, so that was great fun. And Brett even got volunteered for. He was helping people get off the stage as they were going through the awards program, so that was neat that he got included as well. And then my second goal was to bring home a lot of inventory, and I have done it. So you're going to want to come see me or keep staying tuned to iWink Randoms on Thursdays at 4. I will start showing things tomorrow. And also, my third goal was to build more of a strategy for time management because I'm working sometimes 12 to 14-hour days. I love it. I'm obsessing on it. It's part of my personality to just dig in and go, go, go. And I need to be able to balance. And right now, Brett's off, so this week we're actually going to school classes together for a whole other project. It's kind of fun going to school with Brett after all these years. But the time management piece, I really want to be more cognizant of exactly the time chunking and how I'm spending my time and the high payoff activities and that kind of thing, and not making quite as long a day. So with that, I will let you go, but I just wanted to share some things that I had learned, probably mainly for my Maggie sisters, and any future members of iWink's iTeam, because I'm always looking for team members who want to be on this journey with me. And let me tell you, it is great fun, and it's great growth, and there will be so many benefits that you've never thought of, because there certainly have been in the almost 3 months that I've been in. So with that, I'll let you go, and we'll see you in a future iWink Randoms. As I'm recording this, it will be tomorrow at 4. But I know some people see this after the fact, so whenever you see this, just remember to tune in Thursdays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll see you later. Thanks so much. Bye.